Hello there, my name's Vince from my mate Vince, and in this video today we're going to be looking at this huge fan. It's absolutely massive, and what makes this one a little bit different is it's got an incorporated battery. So it's got a battery that can last up to 24 hours on the lowest setting, so you can have it run from mains or battery operated if you want to run it outside. It's called a SHARK FlexBreeze, and I googled it. Amazingly, it costs £200, and it's got a huge amount of good reviews, 5-star reviews, 228 of them. Now, this looks nearly brand new. I can see that there's a few marks and stuff around the place, but it doesn't look like it's had much use at all. And although it's plugged in, I've had it plugged in for about half an hour and we have no indication of any battery charging. It doesn't turn itself on. I've held this down, I've tapped it, I've hit all the other buttons. It appears to be completely dead. What's also nice is you can take it off the stand here. You press a big button at the back here and then you can lift this out. I'm trying to do it one-handed. Is it going to work? No, I'll have to show you when it's on the bench. And the idea is you lift it up from the handle here and then it becomes a smaller portable one with little tripod legs. And it's supposed to be very, very quiet. You can also do other things. You can get this little attachment for the front here where you attach a garden hose and it's supposed to blow mist at you. So a little bit of thought's gone into it and people appear to really like it. So let's get over to the mat and see if we can get this working again. Okay, I paid $52.99 for this here, and it's supposed to output 12 volts, 3 amps. So first of all, we're going to check this, then we're going to plug it into here, and we're going to check the connector at the top here. And then, if that's all okay, we're going to plug this straight into the handheld part of it, the fan bit, and let's see if anything comes alive then. So we're looking at 12 volts. And it is center pin positive, because I can see from the little diagram just here that you have the positive towards the middle. There's nothing there. I wasn't expecting that. It's an adapter problem. Surely it's not a fuse problem. Let's have a look. Let's get rid of this. Maybe the fan itself is not working because the batteries have gone completely flat on it. And this isn't working because maybe the fuse has gone. £13 amp. Let's go to continuity. No, fuse is working. Now, I'm just going to plug that in back in again just to make sure I am on that correctly. I had SHARK products before where the plug was faulty, where the lead went in, because the lead went straight up to the, I can't remember if it was a negative or the live, and then what happens is if it pulls at all from here, it's just pulling the wire straight out from here. But that wasn't a vacuum cleaner, and this here looks brand new. Alright, plug it in again. Definitely on the outer one there. There's nothing there. I'm going to plug it into a different outlet just in case that one's playing up. No, well I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Let's see if it's possible to take this apart and maybe find out why it's failed. Annoyingly, it's going to be one of these things that are glued because this is all moulded. So already it's just going to look awful. I'm unplugged. I mean, that's a massive heavy duty lead there, so I don't think that's failed. Have to get in here, you see. Unless, of course, it turns out to be a fault with the plug. It's unlikely because there's a moulded plug and it looks perfect. Obviously, if I take this apart and ruin it, and then it turns out to be a plug, I'm going to be disappointed. Can't see it being the plug. I think we're going to have to get into this. Now it looks like it's been plastic welded, which is a real shame. What I might do is I might get Marcel's vise and I might just start clamping it just to see if it gives any sign of popping. I'll keep the rubber on for the moment. Is it going to go big enough? Just, yeah. Okay, I'm going to clamp the bottom and see if anything happens on the top. If I could hear a click, it'd be nice if it could, you know, snap the top off. It's pretty tight now. No, it doesn't sound like it wants to. Doesn't sound like it wants to break. I think that's going to work. What I might try to do is I might try clamping it from the top and bottom, and it might spread out this side bit here. Because it's on a bit of a bow, you see, so it might pop. And it might break completely. See, before, other people have told me you can use petrol and stuff, but I wouldn't be messing with that indoors. I wouldn't be messing with it outdoors either. I think I'm going to add some heat just in case it loosens something up. I'm just at 100 degrees Celsius. Actually, you know what? There is a chance the plug's at fault. So I suppose it's an expensive item. Why am I risking making this unsellable for the sake of if the problem's with the plug? Because somebody would still buy this even if it hasn't got a moulded plug on it. While if this is all bashed up here, then I wouldn't feel comfortable selling it. So what we're going to do is, it's unlikely, but there's a slim chance the problem's on here. So let's chop this off. Now what would be amazing is if I go on here and we haven't got continuity to here. Here goes. So this is the live. So let's go on the brown. Gutted. Let's go on the blue. Well, in hindsight, a great thing. Okay, so there's no problem there. Disappointing. Right, so I have to get into this now. Worst case scenario, I suppose you could get another 12 volt 3 amp adapter. I'm going to get a hammer and tap it along there. No, you're not breaking at all. It's such a shame. If they just had maybe 6 security screws around here, then nobody's going to be able to get into it anyway without meaning to, you know? So it's still going to be safe for children and stuff like that. It's a shame that it's all sealed like this. I understand that this fan is slightly waterproof, but you know, if they had put a rubber seal on it, it means that you would be able to get into it, but it's not. This isn't designed to be repaired. It's just designed to be made and thrown away if it fails. I'm going to put my temperature up to 200 degrees Celsius. You might be able to buy these as spares, possibly. Right, I think we can all agree, I've tried to crack it open, it's not happening. So let's Dremel it open, but then I'll never be able to ever sell this again, which is a shame. Actually, I'll clamp it in the vise. Should really be wearing gloves, but I feel pretty confident I'm not going to slip and cut myself. And now that I've said that, I will slip and cut myself. I've got my safety goggles. Let's see what's happening in here. Obviously, most people will just look to see if they can get a replacement, but it'd be nice to find out what's failed in it. After all, this is attempting to fix videos, so by replacing something, we're not fixing it. This is the Having Fun Repairs Dremel tool. Wow, I'm still not through. No way, still not through there. Right, I'm through. I'm through there now. Very deep. Don't think that was going to crack open. Now I hope I'm not going to cut into the components. I'll cut a little bit more, maybe I can lever off the other side. So this has taken a lot longer to cut through than I thought. Also, it's weird, it seems to give in certain places but not other places. So the places where it's not giving, maybe I'm cutting through components. This Dremel tool might be going right the way through capacitors, bridge rectifiers, who knows what on the inside. But I am interested when I finally get in to see how thick the plastic is. Also, I've got to be a little bit careful. Putting metal pry tools and stuff in here, there could still be 200 or 300 volts in that main filter cap because I have had this plugged in, so a little bit of caution is needed. Right, now, while I'm doing this, we'll shout out the My Mate Vince Massive. The members this month are kitdigital.com, Kip Hakes on YouTube, Max Rokotansky, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeebs.com, DJ VG, Pigsy, Anthony Dean, Russ Melanson, Shigate, Rickard Berglund, Soul Reaver 555, Shamsa Al Sawadi, Stuart Park, Stephen from the Broken Past on YouTube, Lee Benz, 360 Picture UK, and the My Mate Vince fan club over on Facebook. So a massive thanks to each and every one of you. Excellent. We're in. Nearly. Come on. Whoa. Look how thick that is. Oh, look at that massive explosion. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Huge explosion here. Massive explosion. Right, let me just wash my hands and then clean up this, and then it'll be nicer to work on. Okay, let the fun begin. Let's zoom in. No way that the vise would have cracked through that. It is really, really thick. So, burnt very, very nicely. What has burnt? Bridge rectifier, do you think? What did I cut through? Oh, that's the capacitor I cut through. I've only gone through... No, I have. I've actually gone through the metal bit of the can there, haven't I? That's going to be one of the electrolytic layers on the inside. Fuse is all burnt up here. So it's burnt by the fuse. I'm going to say that I think the bridge rectifier went and it took out the fuse. These are 16 volt 1500 microfarad. Do I have any of them? I'm not going to have 1500. No. I've got 16 volt 1000. Right, let's measure these ones to make sure there is no voltage in here, because these are going to be 400, aren't they? Yeah, 400 volt, 33 microfarad. Let's just make sure. I'm pretty sure the fuse is going to be gone. I suppose what we could do is we could measure the fuse first of all. If the fuse is gone, we know nothing else has got through. So let's just go on to continuity. And we'll go across the fuse, which is bridging this gap here. Yeah, fuse is gone. So we're not going to have anything in this cap because the voltage wouldn't have got that far. Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's give ourselves a little bit of room. It looks like the temperature rose that much that the solder has actually unsoldered from this bridge rectifier. Look there. Can you see those two there? So to begin with, I'm going to get some isopropyl alcohol and I'm just going to give it all a clean. And then let's see if we can maybe measure the bridge rectifier. So I'm using this stuff, 99.9%. Right, it's much easier to see what's going on now. So to begin with, we'll just get our meter in continuity. And so we've got the brown wire going through the fuse, but it's not going through the fuse because the fuse is broken. So let's just take it from, so basically the plug we know is here. Annoyingly, I've cut the end of the plug off, but if I go onto the brown wire here, you can see that it's going to here. And the blue wire is going to here. So brown wire goes through the fuse, which is now blown. From here it goes to here, goes to here, goes to here. It goes through a coil here. And it does, and it goes to that pin. So that's going to be one of the AC pins, well, the positive. Oh, well, sorry, there is no positive, but you know, the live on the AC is going to here. And then we got neutral going to here, here. It then goes through that NTC here, here, to here, to that bit of the coil goes to here. So these two are the inputs for the AC. So if we replace the fuse there, we will have AC there. So now, I mean, this looks like it's been completely burnt. So was it the DC that messed up then? So should we go between here and here, which is the capacitor? Right, so there's no short over the capacitor there. Let's go on to diode test. And let's just see what's happening here. Nothing, nothing. Nothing. Swap the leads. Something. Something. Wow. That looks to be okay. Hold on a minute. So have we got a short across? No. We've got a short across the DC. No! Wow! The bridge rectifier looks to be okay. It can't be, surely that's where all the burning was. Let me go across this thing here, which is going to be doing some sort of switching, isn't it, for here. So it's going to be these three here. Let's just see. Well, hold on. There doesn't appear to be any shorts anywhere. What's caused the fuse to blow? I mean, the burning was here. You don't think... Have a look here. You don't think it was sloppy soldering and the two AC pins were shorted together. Look, because we have burning here and here. Can you see the pads are actually burnt away? Look at the copper plane. See, the copper has burnt away completely here and the copper's burnt away completely here. Do you think maybe... What's underneath here? You don't think there was a short going across here? Because the soldering does look... Do you reckon that the heat caused that solder to go like that? Must have, mustn't it? I'm thinking if we put a fuse in, it might just work. Let's flood this area a little bit more with solder. I'm wondering if there was a solder bridge here by accident when it was made. But then the very first time they plugged it in, it would have blown, wouldn't it? And to me, that bridge rectifier looks to be testing okay, but maybe when I put the fuse in, it might blow straight away. I just want to check here, make sure I haven't shorted anything on that. I've just spilt my IPA. It's been a while. 18,000 ohms. think it's probably okay. Let me just do the one next to it. Yeah, it's going to be on the same rail, isn't it? The same output rail. Right, okay, I am going to pop the fuse out. Let's see what's going on. It's a T3.15 to 50 volt. There you go, T3.15 amp to 50 volt. Right, so that's completely blown. Let's see if I've got something similar. Result, proper RS components. And this is, zoom in. Ta-da! 3.15 to 50 volts. Let's pop one of these in and see. I've got plenty of them, so if it goes bang, it's not a problem. I'll obviously I won't put another one in. I know then there is an issue, but right now I'm thinking there was some weird short there. That bridge rectifier to me seems to be okay. Just going to get rid of that charring there because the charring can conduct a bit. More IPA because the last lot spilt. So I just need to pop the fuse in. It's nice and easy because it's the same size as the one that came out. Of course, obviously after I've cleaned all the burning away. And then I need to pop a plug on here because annoyingly I took the plug off. But you know what? If I did this again, I would do the exact same again because it's much easier to change a plug than get into this power supply here. When I change the plug over, I would normally put little ferrules on, crimp the ferrules on, and then screw down onto the ferrules, but I can't because I've lent it to my brother. So I'm just going to bend the copper strands over, shove them in the hole, and do up the screw. It will be absolutely fine, but maybe in 10-15 years, they might work their way loose, while if you screw onto the ferrule, they're not going to work their way loose. Anyway, once that's done, we're ready to plug it in. I'm not going to plug this in front of me because I don't feel confident that it is fixed, but the bridge rectifier, as far as I can see, is testing okay. So I'm going to plug it into an extension lead and plug it in like a coward from across the room. Not a coward, I would say a sensible person. But then again, if you were a sensible person, you probably wouldn't be messing with this power supply in the first place. Obviously, never copy what you see in my videos. Okay, I've got my extension lead here. I'm now going to walk this across the room. Obviously, do not copy what you see in my videos. You know, I've cut the capacitor there. You shouldn't even be messing with power supplies. Take it purely for entertainment. Now, I feel like I'm a safe distance away. I'm going to plug it in. And I am going to go right now. Let's see. Whoa! Nice. Wow. I might be able to get a slow-mo on that. Yes, Vince, yes you can. Let's have a look at it in slow motion. To go right now, let's see. Nah, not quite as good as I was hoping. I wanted more blue. It isn't no spot welding. When you do a spot weld, it looks impressive. That there, it was nice. There was a few sparks coming out of the flame, but yeah, I wanted more blue. Okay, well, that clearly didn't last very long. That was a waste of a fuse. Now, I presume the fuse has just gone straight away again. Obviously, I didn't see what went bang. But yeah, I can see underneath the fuse. Look at that. My poor Matt. Wow. Okay. So there is a direct short somewhere, isn't there? There's a direct short. Let's just go across the caps just in case. Oh wow, we got voltage here. Look at that. Enough to shock me. So it did get across there for a split second. Yeah, check that out, 266 volts and dropping. So does that mean we had anything here? No, we haven't got anything here. Oh no, I don't think I'm going to be able to fix this one because we have actually got voltage on the capacitors. Right, it's going to take ages to drain, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my resistor and we'll turn that voltage into heat. Okay, so there's a load of resistors in here. Let's go across here and here and we'll turn that into heat. See what you're measuring now. Four volts, there you go. Okay, so obviously fuse has gone again. Yes. I wonder, has the fuse blown in here? So let's go to live. No, so the fuse hasn't blown in here. Okay. Oh, because I suppose this is 13 amp and this is 3 amp. So this is going to blow a lot quicker than this, isn't it? Right, okay. So we haven't got a short across here. No, we have got a short across here. We didn't before, did we? We've got a 2 ohm short. Did I not measure that before? I thought I measured that before. I thought that was okay. We did a diode test on them, didn't we? Maybe I didn't go across these two. We have a direct short across the AC. Okay, let's pop the bridge capacitor out. I wonder, unless the coil or something. I wonder, could the coil? Well, we're going to have a short here now because of the bridge rectifier. Interesting. Okay, maybe the bridge rectifier is at fault. Still might be fixable. So I just need to pop out the bridge rectifier. It's strange because when I'm filming this, I convinced myself that I didn't test the middle 2 AC pins. I just tested from the DC to AC, DC to AC and DC to DC and swapped the leads and did the same again. But now I'm editing it back, I can clearly see I tested the AC pins many times and there was no short. Yet, now when I change the fuse out, suddenly there is a short. So it's different now than it was earlier. Right, okay, so let's see now if the bridge rectifier is testing short across the middle 2. Yes. So 100% the bridge rectifier has failed. So now if we go to diode test and go on the middle 2, you can see we have a short this way and a short this way. Right, so that's definitely failed. Let's see if this is showing any fault. Right, so there's no short between there. The short was on the bridge rectifier. And I think the capacitor's okay. Right, you never know. Maybe the bridge rectifier was faulty from manufacture. And then, or shortly afterwards, you know. Let's zoom in and see what this is. D3UB100. I'm just going to Google that. Right, so this one here is a D3 FA220UK So you can see this is rated at 1000 volts, this particular one. And when it comes to the amps, it's rated at 3 amps with a heatsink. This one hasn't got a heatsink. It's got a lot of this gunk though, but there's no heatsink on it. And it's rated at 1.2 amps without the heatsink. So let's see if I've got anything similar. Well, I've got this one here, which looks similar because we have, let's have a look. Is that positive? Yeah, positive that side, negative that side, AC in the middle. Looks to be about the same sort of size, but it is a, it's only 400 volts, while this is 1000 volts. But the thing is, I have only got 230, 240 volts AC going into it. And this one is rated at 2 amps without, I know this is rated more, but without the heatsink, this was, I think it was 1.2 amps. This doesn't mention a heatsink, it just says 2 amps, and it does look more beefy than this one here. So clearly you should be putting in what you take out, but I'm going to try this one. Because if you have a look here, can you see it's 400 volts and it's 2 amps there. A surge of 60 amps, peak forward surge current. I don't really know, if I'm honest with you, but let's stick it in and see. I just kind of want to prove that it was the bridge rectifier that was the original fault. I've got this one here which is 600 volts, but this is more through hole, and I think it'd be hard for me to, well, sorry, this is through hole as well, but I think it'd be hard for me to arrange that safely. I'm going to go for one of these. It definitely seems a more substantial component than this one. See, it's a bit bigger. As always, do not copy what you see in my videos. So, interestingly, it's shaped like, it's more shaped like the board as well. Maybe that's just to denote, the cut-off must be to denote the positive. So I solder in the new 2 amp 400 volt bridge rectifier, and remember though, 400 volt, it's only 230 or 240 going in, but then we do have higher DC voltage. I forget what it is, it's 1.41 or something for the true, is it RMS? So if we were to do it on my calculator, 240 times 1.41 is 338. So the DC side of it is going to be 338 volts, and that's still under 400 volts. So maybe this will be just fine. So I'm going to solder this one in, and then also I'm going to swap out the fuse again, because clearly I blew the last fuse, and then we'll see what it's doing. Now, I do want to talk about the bridge rectifier more. I'm going to do it at the very end of the video, because there's something that's really not clear to me. How is it possible for the 2 AC pins to short when the 2 AC pins are not connected together, even via diodes? I've got a little diagram that I'm just going to go over at the very end of the video, because I think that'd be quite interesting if people can answer how on earth this is possibly shorted. I've got an idea, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, now let's see if we have a short in between the 2 AC pins. So continuity? No short there now. And the fuse is now working, so that's going all the way up to here, into that one there, and the negative is going all the way to there, and there's no short. So again, I'm going to plug it in from across the room. I've convinced myself now that I didn't test the AC to begin with, but maybe when power goes into this, it's just going to blow that again. It's going to blow the bridge rectifier again. There might be something else causing this. But I think that this is actually going to work now. Right, that's balanced there. I know you sick lot will want to see this explode again, so let's put that way. Keep my hands well clear of everything. Right, extension lead is unplugged from the wall, so I'm going to plug the plug into this now. And let's go across the room, plug it in again, see if that goes bang all over again. 1 second, this has now come away. Right, here we go. You ready? I'm even more nervous this time. Right, plugging it in, turning it on. Now I'm going to hit reset on the breaker. No bang. 12 volts. Fantastic. 12 volts. Result. Okay, I don't want to get too close over there just in case it does go up. So there we go. It must have been a faulty bridge rectifier. That took out the fuse. Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to unplug. Now hopefully that will drain away naturally now and I won't have to do anything. So unplugged and you can still see there's 12 volts there. Unplugged here. Oh, results. Now I'm just wondering, is there any way I can just bodge this up for myself? Epoxy maybe? I suppose I could try epoxy, couldn't I? Maybe I could clean this up around here and then I could try epoxying it together. Or I have got JB Weld. I wonder would plastic JB Weld do the job? I've got this stuff here. You know, I've got a new one as well. Plastic Bonder, World's Strongest Bonds, Body Panel Adhesive and Gap Filler. Great for plastic to metal and plastic to plastic bonding. Maybe I'll give this a go and I could wrap some elastic bands around it. Look at that. How amazing are capacitors? It's still storing all that energy there. I've still got 12 volts here. It must have been unplugged for over a minute now. Yeah, I could put a load of this on it and then just wrap elastic bands around it and let it go off for a bit. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. But first of all, I just want to look up to see if you can buy replacement power supplies. If I can get this all moulded back together and glued back together safely, then I'll use it myself happily. But I would never sell it with this. So I just want to see if I can actually buy them. Right, I haven't done any research, I've just gone into it quickly, but if you have a look here, you can see you can get a genuine one, £25 or £26, so basically just under 30 quid for that there. That one doesn't seem to have the AC part of it, but maybe it's the same output, you just have to plug your own figure of 8 lead into it. I'll do a little bit of research, because if these are £200 new, then maybe if I spend £30, you know, I might be able to get £70 or £80 for this. I might be able to get my money back, and then obviously I make the money from the adverts in the videos. There we go, we're nearly down now. Or if it's quiet, I might keep it myself, because my son's taken the Dyson one, and not that we have that many hot days in the UK, but it might be quite nice in the summer to have a nice quiet fan that you can have running overnight. I've said all that, but maybe the fan itself's not working. I think it's unlikely though. So I take away all the bits of burnt plastic, they come off really easy with the pliers, and I just put a little bit of glue on the capacitor where it's cut, just to stop the electrolyte from drying out, stopping it from leaking out of there. Obviously the capacitor should be changed. If I had one, I would put one in. Am I going to order one? No. If I was going to go to the bother of order one and stuff, I would probably just order a £30 new power supply. I actually think this capacitor is going to be just fine. I don't think the electrolyte will dry out of it. I mean, I might be wrong, but I can't see this being an actual problem. I think this power supply will actually go on to work for many, many years. So I'm putting a little bit of glue on the fuse and also the bridge rectifier as well. And then I have to use the plastic bonder. It's a two-part thing that you mix together, black and white stuff, and then it all mixes together and it dries black, which is perfect for this power supply here. It is actually acting as a gap filler around the edges, because only the bits by the cable are going to be glued, because they're the bits I never cut. Either side I've run the blade down it, so obviously there's about 1.5 millimeters missing that on those bits there, but the box of the glue does say that it fills gaps, so that's exactly what it's going to be doing here. I put loads into the gap. I hold it shut with some elastic bands and I put loads into the gaps. I do this because I don't care what it looks like, I want it to be safe. If you were really bothered, you could probably sand it back or even use an X-Acto knife and cut it back. But again, I think that's going to weaken the strength of it a bit. The more glue I've got on this, bonding the top and bottom, as far as I'm concerned, the better. So yeah, as long as it works and it's safe, I don't care what it looks like, because if I was to ever sell this, like I mentioned already, I'd be buying a new power supply for it. So yeah, I'm just going to show you it after it's been left for 1 hour, and let's see what it looks like. Right, it's been a good hour because I was just watching the last episode of Beast Games. Really enjoyed that. Forget about if you're thinking, oh, that YouTuber. Beast Games is really good. The twists and stuff on it are very, very good. Highly recommend watching that. Right, now let's see what's happening here. Okay, still a bit tacky, but there does seem to be a fair bit of strength on that. Yes, there does. Excellent. Okay, I am going to fill up that, and then I think I'll probably start charging. Start charging up the fan. Hopefully the fan itself is all right. I don't need much of this at all. When I used this before, sometimes more of one would come out than the other, so I want to kind of... So the white's wanting to come out now, and the black's not. Not much I can do about that. Look at that, you see. Oh, that's annoying. Come on, black. There we go. Right, so I'm going to really have to do it here, otherwise it's not going to be a right mix. There. From now on it'll be okay. Love that lid. Great piece of design. Amazing, there was very little shrinkage. Beast Games is on Amazon, and they 1,000 people compete to win £5 million. But it's the games they have to play to get there, and the sort of mental torture they're going to have to go through. Some of it's really good. Amazon Prime. Right, okay. I'm going to let that go off now. And then as it goes tacky in a few minutes, I'm going to plug it in and start charging up the fan itself. Check this out, I'm just taking off the fan and stuff just to see how to do a bit of maintenance on it. And look, they've given you a proper bearing. Yes! Look, like a skateboard bearing there, or roller skate bearing. That's great news. So hopefully, if this is going to work, hopefully it might actually last a test of time. And they've done this reverse thread as well. And we have a proper little screw to go in here, a little brass insert. So that is all promising. Just notice it looks like we've got LEDs up here. Maybe that's to indicate battery life, maybe. Right, I think I'm going to plug it in and see what it's doing. That fits in there nice. Let's see if any lights light up, and you can turn it around here. I hope it doesn't explode now, because that glue is still wet. Let's see. Okay, nothing exploded. Fantastic. Look at the little symbol there. Yeah, so it's completely flat at the moment. It's showing an empty battery. Excellent. Right, okay. So So I suppose you can see why the seller thought that maybe the issue wasn't with this, because the thing is, by having the battery, by having this go, the original user had no way to recharge it. So the battery on this would have just gone completely flat because they probably kept using this until there was no power on it at all. So you would kind of suspect that this was faulty rather than the actual power supply itself. But that's why it's really useful to have a multimeter. A simple multimeter quickly tells you that there's no 12 volts, and then you know that the power supply is faulty. It does say that charging before use works while charging. So let's just see, because we've still got just that green flat battery light there. I want to see if it does work. Yes, it does. No way, that's super quiet. And we've got one light here, so fan speed, 2 lights, 3. That's pumping out a nice bit. It's very, very quiet. That's pretty powerful. Excellent. And let's see oscillation. Result. So now it's working, we just have to find out, is the battery going to hold any charge?
The next day.
Okay, I was charging it up for a good few hours last night. I didn't charge it until the green light went out because I went to bed. But when I turn it on now, it's on a green light. So we have all different colours here. And green will mean 95% to 51%. And if I turn it on now, you will see that it will be on green there. Well, beforehand when I was charging it, I also seen like the red light as well. So yeah, overall, I'm really happy with it. Now, I don't know about, is it going to last as long as something like a Dyson? I think maybe it might do, because it doesn't look as complicated. Granted, we haven't opened up this to see how complicated the brain is in here, but I've got a feeling it might be a little bit more straightforward. And what's nice is, I think this is a really nice feature. If you have a look at the oscillation, on the Dyson, you can only choose to have it oscillating or stationary. But when it oscillates, it moves around about that much. With this one, you've got different levels of oscillation. So if I was to move it on number 1 here, it will only move between here and here. But then if I was to go up to the full oscillation, it will move, I think it's near enough 180 degrees. So you can see there, that's on the low one. And then if I was to go on to the highest, which is this one here, then it goes right the way round. So it's nice that you've got a choice there as well. Now this one is missing a remote control, which is a bit of a shame. But normally with something like this, you'd kind of put it on and just leave it on. It doesn't actually bother me. I don't think I'd bother getting the remote control because it's so easy to operate here. And as far as this is concerned, yes, it looks messy, but now it's gone rock hard. That feels the same as this. It just feels like plastic. So, sorry, you can see now it's moving around there. So it went right the way to here, and now it's going all the way over there. So it's good, isn't it? And the amount of air that it disperses as well is a lot. So if I was to go to here, that's maximum. Yeah, then back to 1. There. And that's a good amount there. I haven't walked 20 meters away from it, but I think it's quite believable. The other one I had said it would do 7 meters, the little fan, and this is a lot bigger. So yeah, I mean, hopefully you can hear how powerful that is. But yet it's not overly noisy. So all in all, I think it's a little bit of a winner. There we go. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. Yeah, so with this one here, what I could do is I could get a Stanley knife, a blade or an X-Acto knife, and I could cut that off. And I could make it look a lot better, much better. I could possibly sand it down and then even buff it as well. But I want to keep the strength. And right now, I've got the glue going from one side to another. It's not just filling the gap, it's going from one side to the other. So for me, so on something like that, safety is much more important than the way it looks. I would never pass this on to someone else. If I wanted to sell this, I would buy one of these on eBay. I might still buy one on eBay, but right now this is working just fine. So yeah, if I had a 1000 volt bridge rectifier, I would have put it in there. But the one I've put in here appears to be okay. I don't know, obviously you don't copy what you see in my videos. I should be putting 1000 volt in there, but we'll see how we go with this one. And if it fails, I can always fix it again. I can always buy 1000 volt bridge rectifier. They're not going to cost a lot. But for me, I think it's much more important to have that there going from one side to the other, because if I cut all this off, then all it's doing is filling the gap. And yeah, it might be strong enough to hold it, but right now, there's no danger in my mind that that's coming apart. There's no way, if I was to drop that, I reckon if I even hit it pretty hard with a hammer, that would not come apart. So that seems to be rock solid. So the JB Weld's done an absolutely amazing job. Right, I just want to put it into here just to make sure that this is working, the adapter down here. So you fold this down, that button goes here, on this bit here. All in all, I think it's a nicely designed product. So I actually quite like it. Right, let's see, are you going to work now? Yeah, we're charging. So, good. So there we have it. I quite like this fan here. I know it doesn't look the nicest, but it looks like it's easy to take apart to clean. And I think it's quite clever how it's battery operated as well as mains. Whether it ever be used as a battery, I don't know, because I've never had a fan this big. I've only ever had a handheld one, which is just tiny, you know. So maybe if it was a very, very hot summer's day, you might well take this out in the garden if you were doing a bit of sunbathing, and you might want it on you just for half an hour or 45 minutes or something. It might be quite refreshing, not too sure. Right, just before you disappear, if you could maybe sort out this problem that I've got with this faulty bridge rectifier. So this is a faulty bridge rectifier, and we know that the AC shorted like that, yeah? But if this is the bridge rectifier here with 4 diodes, you can see that this is AC and this is AC, yeah? And this is negative and positive on the DC. How have we got a short between here and here when it has to go through 2 diodes to short? Yeah? So for example, if you have a listen, if we were to go onto the positive here and then go between AC, AC and here, you will see that we haven't got any shorts. Yeah? So there's no shorts there. So how have we got this linked to here? Now, there is a short between here and here, the negative. Now these two are already shorted, so there is a short here. So let's say if that's just a piece of wire here, it's not acting as a diode anymore, that's fine. But how then, because this one must still be acting as a diode. And we shouldn't have a short between here and here. So I'm really confused why we've got a short there. You know what I mean? Because we should also have... Oh, hold on, unless that's shorted as well. 1 second now. So if that's shorted as well, if both those diodes have gone, then it just means these two are intact. Is that correct? Ah, so both these have gone. Because what I was thinking is, I was wondering whether it was made incorrectly, where maybe the middle 2 legs going up here had a kind of solder path between them that fused. I thought that might have been it, but the very fact we got a short here, so basically the ACs are shorted because these 2 diodes have gone completely short. I think that's what's happened, and these 2 are intact because we've still got a diode reading here. That must be it. Right, okay, put it down in the comment section if that's right or wrong, but if you have a look, that does look like these diodes from the positive are okay. Yeah, and see that's okay to there because that means it's going to go from here. How am I? Maybe I'm going via here. I suppose we're only seeing that one diode there, but the problem is from here and here. That's where all the shorts are. Oh, okay. So I think the bridge rectifier's failed because these 2 diodes are acting like a piece of wire. Okay. Do you know what? It was just a power supply fault, but for some reason I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed the product because it's a little bit different and you can see that design has gone into it, which I think is quite nice. So yeah, I'm going to keep the fan for a bit. After summer, if it never gets used, I'll buy a power supply and then I'll sell it for hopefully maybe what I spent on it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a big thumbs up and I will see you all very soon. Thank you so much for watching.